that's a maybe a warning, or he's very close to a warning on a forceful break. I mean, a very successful break right there, but that's going to be right on the borderline there, Phil.
Yes, this forceful break, it's obviously at the discretion of the referees. If they believe it's not forceful enough, they will officially warn a player, and then if they do it again, if they transgress once more, that will then be ball in hand.
Now, Rob, interesting. I didn't ever notice this from him before, but he's got a glove on both hands. Little a la Earl Strickland, you may say. All right, coming across for a 5 ball, and that's where the slick table, it just doesn't want to grab and take as much as your club table, and now a decision for Rob. I talked to Rob a bit here and there. We tend to message or call, and been trying to get up to Philly to spend a little time with him, and he says, man, all I do is play pool. He's got a beautiful setup at his place, at his house. A former pool room owner, actually, in the Philadelphia area. Spends a lot of time in California, also with his family. His brother, as you mentioned, lives that way. First look at Max Lechner, and I wouldn't doubt it's the short cue here. Not just to make a hit on the 5, but really to play some type of safety. He may go for the cross side bank, but I kind of think he had hit the bottom right side of the 5. Trying to send it up table somewhat, along with the cue ball stand here on the bottom end of your screen.
Of course, this time last year we were talking about Max Lechner and his Moscone Cup claim. So far 2022 has not gone well for him, but you know there is a big tournament in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and he's had some great results actually. The World Pool Championships, he made a deep run before getting beat in a close match near the end of the tournament. I think it was the final 16 if I remember correctly, and he took over Mario He's spot in that strong Austrian team for the World Cup, which that just kind of shows you something about Max's game. And I'll tell you, Mario He's starting to get it back as well after a nice finish this past weekend.
Yes, he was a semi-finalist in southern Bulgaria at the latest Euro Tour event, Mario He. Yeah, that Austrian setup for the World Cup is brutally competitive. It's 2's company, 3's a crowd, and one of them's got to miss out, and we know it's not going to be Albin Auschen.
Yeah, you wouldn't figure it. Now, he was kind of sizing up as the 9 playable off the 7. A lot of times it'll fool you in this kind of situation. I don't think he's going to end up going there as far as trying to kiss the 9 ball in, but we'll see. Got a couple safeties options. He's got a long rail bank he could kind of incorporate a safety with as well. But if he goes for the 9, I think the 9's going to hit the bottom cushion off the 7 myself. Oh, he came across the top of it. Almost fluked the 5 in. And that's, I'd like to lean towards the thinking that's a decision that I'm a big favorite in this match. That's not a shot I think you're going to see Max play in later rounds, which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, to really start thinking about how much of a favorite you are in a match. I know it's early the first game. Maybe that has something to do with it, but it's going to work out. Not how he wanted to strike it entirely, but now he's got to draw the cue ball back just a couple inches. Interesting little shot here. He can come 2 rails to short side. Most would lay up on the side rail and take a little longer shot on the 9 to the lower left corner. Some might draw over it, actually, take that same shot. Looks like he's going to go with a high ball. He's going to have some stretch here. Or he's going to go to the rest. Thin cut here with the rest, though. Type of shot you want to put a little speed on. That way you know the contact on the 9 is real clean. Doesn't drag the 9 to the bottom rail.
Well, it wasn't clean into the pocket, but it fell anyway. So Robert showing plenty of heart in that opening rack. Max Lechner left a ball on. Hart did the rest. The American off to an agreeable start. Now looking around this vast arena where we have 24 tables using simultaneously. The one table that has been really, really slow today has been table 12. We had that marathon involving Teo Lian Han first up. Well, now Ivan Coelho from Portugal finds himself 8-6 up on Hussein Al-Sayafi from Kuwait. That is the last first round match to be completed today. So they're well behind on table 12. That table could go late into the night.
And I'll tell you, if any of the players are watching, Rob Hart has broke the balls pretty successful now. The wing ball both times. Cue ball fell down to the bottom rail, and he may have a gap at the 1. I'm not sure. But again, I think close to questionable on the forceful break. Looks like he's going to just roll on the 8 and leave the jump shot over the brown 7. With the 2 near, I wouldn't doubt that Max takes this on.
Crunch.
Man, this vantage point isn't going to show us, but he was cueing a little higher on the ball. That way he could put a little top English onto the cue ball, advancing it forward and getting a little bit of position on the 2. I don't know if he wants to slow roll this or if he wants to hit it a little high left here to come 2 rails for the 3 in the left side. No preference here. A little bounce off the cushion, a little short of his mark, but should be okay. In really perfect position to drop on the 6. Just needs a hair of an angle on the 6. Doesn't want to fall straight. That looks perfect. Got a choice. Probably comes back underneath him here to the long right side rail. Could just come 1 rail out, actually. Could come with top to play the 7 in the lower right. A lot of choices.
That trademark very wide stance of Lechner's. And that is the Max Lechner, who was challenging for Mosconi Cup consideration last year. When he's on, he can be really intimidating. He's 32 years of age now. Nickname, inevitably, Mad Max. And in 2008, he was the WPA Junior Nineball Champion of the World. He's won Austrian titles in every discipline. 8, 9, 10 ball and straight pool.
Well, he had some nice results in some big tournaments, and then, you know, without so many wins, I guess last year was one of his most impressive years. And doesn't take much in this game to be a little bit off, and certainly the other players are going to pounce. But you kind of feel like it's time for Max to get to that next stage, right? To really put together a huge win in his career. Successful one in the side. Got a great shot on the 2. Little distance, but shouldn't be a problem.
And I don't think there's any debate about the forcefulness of that break.
And it looks like just a stop shot on the 2. Gives him an angle to draw off the 3, maybe contacting the 9 a little bit. He'll play it simple on the 4, or as simple as he can, with the 5 over the other corner, and you can see the 6, 7, 8, and 9. So not too terribly tough, but definitely got to pay attention.
Let me quickly tell you, Ivan Coelho from Portugal has beaten Hussein Al-Sayafi 9-6. So first round matches scheduled today are over, all of them.
Nice handy shot there on the 3, keeping it simple. Little draw off the 9. Just should be, I mean, he's a little flat here, and on the slick table, it may not grab the English you want. I don't think he'll go with a high right ball, maybe. Coming 2 rails out of the corner to the center of the table for the 5. And that's what he's done. So getting very comfortable quickly, Max Lechner. Anytime you fall behind the ball a little bit, of course it's not being too tough, it's just something you got to pay attention to. He can use a little bit of that left side rail to slide the 6 in. Natural position on the 7. Well, I didn't think he'd use that much of the side rail, but that's day 1 for you. As the days go on, that ball may not fall.
Yeah, actually, it did surprise me how easily that fell, because he caught the rail well early.
Yeah, and what the players don't realize sometimes, when you know you can use the rail, well, you're going to do it without even trying. So sometimes if you try to use the rail, it'll go a little extreme on you. And a big miss there from Matt Edwards on table 2 after a beautiful kick shot to get at the table and get something going.
No hint of complacency on the 9 ball from Max Lechner. He went through his process, he took his time, and he knocks it into the heart of the pocket. So Lechner leading Robert Hart by 2 racks to 1 after losing the opener. Yes, over on table 2, it's at a very critical juncture. They're on the 8 and 9 ball in rack 11. Pius Labutis from Lithuania leads Matt Edwards 6-4. Don't forget you can watch all of the action all day and throughout the tournament on table 2 by accessing the Matchroom Pool YouTube channel.
Yeah, and he's only got a sliver of the 9 to go over, that being Labutis. But anytime the 9's this far away and you notice the 8's a shorter distance, you could easily knock a ball off the table here. Oh, he landed right on it. Nice shot. That's on table 2, like Phil said. Go to the YouTube channel. That kiss right there is going to cause some funny faces throughout this week. You're going to get that kiss on the 9 and on the cue ball in different manners. It causes some scratches. Really no fault of Max's. It's just you have to turn it loose with this new break format. And Labutis misses the 9 in the side, so pretty easy shot from Matt, even though there's some distance. And I don't know. I watched Matt play, and I've seen him play so well, but then at times, I wonder if it's that trip from so far down, you know, Australia area, but that maybe is a little taxing on him. It seems like maybe.
Well, I can tell you the 9 ball is in for Matt Edwards, so he reduces his deficit to just a single rack at 6-5. Now can Robert Hart, having won the first rack, win the 4th and get back onto level terms?
And he's got a funny little shot here. Anytime you're close to it, those angles They grow quickly. He's going to go opposite-handed. I think I've ever seen Rob shoot lefty, to be honest with you. And he's pulled it off the rail just a touch, but it did go.
And his form, left-handed, looked pretty reasonable.
Much better than mine, I'll tell you that. Looked pretty similar to his righty, to be honest with you. Pulling the sleeve up, knowing we're playing all ball fouls. Wants nothing careless to happen.
Well, already in this match, he's looking far more at home in front of the TV cameras than he did when he played Fulda. In fairness, he didn't get an awful lot of chance because Joshua was playing superbly at the copper box and went on to win the whole shebang. As we see him bring out the left-handed stroke again.
Okay, that's going to get behind the 9. May fall a little funny-ish off angle. Again, we talked about it earlier. Anytime you're close to the ball, it's hard to get the perspective like you do when you have a little gap between them. Just got to trust what you see, put a good stroke on it.
Let me tell you, folks, that was a much better shot than it looked. Well done to Robert Hart, acquitting himself very nicely indeed. It's Lechner 2, Hart 2. There's a heart-to-heart joke in there somewhere, but I can't quite think of it yet, Jeremy. I'll get back to you.
I remember that show from, I guess it was the 80s, I guess, Heart to Heart.
Well, of course, the supporting character was called Max in that, wasn't he?
That's right. Now
then, let's take a look at some of these score lines on other tables. Jan van Leerup and Elliot Sanderson have gone hill-hill. 8 racks each on table 5. On the next door table, table 6, Babkin Malkonyan from Romania. He leads 7-3 against Tobias Bongers from here in Germany. Aloysius Schiap and Valerie Koloyans 2-2. Chris Alexander 4-3 up on Rainer Lahr. Mustafa Alner, he's 3-2 up on Yuri Pisklov, who of course shocked Ralph Suke earlier today.
Another successful break and a pretty good shot on the 2. Little thin, but not terrible.
Let me quickly give you a couple of results. David Zalman from the Czech Republic, he defeated Dmitry Yungo 9-5. That's a surprise. And Jeremy and myself were commentating first up this morning when Senarib Azar defeated Torsten Homan. Well, he wasn't a one-hit wonder, Azar. He then followed up by beating Abdullah Alenzi 9-5. Great day for him, the Swede. Azar through 2 wins out of 2.
Well, and the double glove here from Rob kind of makes a little more sense now. Switching hands quickly, not even considering the rest, and should Just come one rail between the 8-9 here, straight at the 5 ball. The 6 plays easy in the side, so.
Yes, he did use the rest, didn't he, to pop the 9 ball in the first rack,
That's
but I
right.
don't think an octopus could have reached that.
Okay, with the 8, very playable. No reason to play the 6 too light. You can come out to the middle of the table, no problem. A lot of players sometimes underhit this ball and not really make it that missable, but just an occasional thing. Yeah, I like that confident stroke there. Take a little more cut on the 7 just to hit the 6 a little more pure.
I'll tell you what, his brother might be a world-famous comedic actor, but Robert Hart is showing here he's to be treated seriously on a pool table. 3-2 up, switching hands for fun and looking the part.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask him after this. I kind of get the feeling the way he swung the cue lefty that he does more things left-handed maybe. You know, some people, you've been around so many athletes, right? They're right-handed, but for some reason they started the sport left-handed and they went on to play it, but very, very good with the opposite hand.
Well, I think from a sporting perspective, the most famous non-lefty who plays his sport left-handed would be Phil Mickelson.
I agree. That was the first name that would come to my mind. Yeah, if you ever saw Phil throw a football or something like that, which I've seen it before, pretty fluid with the right hand to be a lefty golfer.
A lot of snooker players, actually, top-level snooker players who are lefties, use the rest right-handed.
Yeah. I'll find that a lot with players, and sometimes I'll guess it kind of. You can just kind of tell. And I'll ask them, I'm like, oh, you play lefty, but I bet you use the rest righty. And they'll be like, how did you know that? I'm like, well, it's just a little experience. But all right, first dry break for Rob, and we'll see what Max has in store. Complicated rack, though. The shot on the 1's nice. The 2's not bad, but the 3 really looking for a pocket. Doesn't go by the 6 or the 9. And not easy to get a real workable angle on the 2 with some traffic out there to get to the backside of the 3. So he may end up playing a 3-6 combination before it's all said and done.
It's been one of those days, Jeremy, where we haven't seen a great amount of combinations pulled off on the main match table. Haven't seen a great amount of combinations taken on, let alone pulled off. I think the whole configuration of the way these tournaments are going to go has been changed by the break changes.
I absolutely agree. You're going to see a lot more discomfort at times. Like we talked about earlier, a lead means a heck of a lot more. I think you're going to see some frustration from players because of the new break rule. But all in all, I think it's a very good thing. And the 5 ball's a huge ball here. He's got to get by the 5, coming 2 rails to the backside of the 3. And I probably still would consider the 3-6 combo if I was him. I'd simplify this shot and rely on my talent. Just come across 1 rail or 2 to the center of the table, trying to get on that 3-6 combo. Yeah, nice shot. Now, he used a bit of the pocket there. He got a little off angle, but he should still attack.
We spoke about a lack of combinations, and then one rears up.
Yeah, and I think a very sound decision there. Sometimes these players have to remind themselves how good they are, and that doesn't mean, you know, go for a crazy shot trying to work the cue ball. Just get the shot you can and do what you do.
On table 2, I can tell you, Pius Labutis from Lithuania has just regained the lead over Matt Edwards from New Zealand at 7-6. The crux of rack 13, he laid a very effective hook on the 7 ball. Edwards failed to escape. Labutis did the rest.
Got a little off angle here. May have to play from the top side of the 7, shooting it all the way down on the lower right. And the good thing is on this type of shot, the 8's a little playable, right? If the 8's over on the left side rail, now you have to play that 7 ball with some angle to be able to get shape, and it makes the shot on the 7 that much tougher. Now he can fall behind the 7 much straighter and have a, you know, bit more confidence shooting it down the rail.
From what we saw at the Copper Box, I thought this might be a runaway. I do not think that now. It's turning out to be a really competitive contest.
Simple 9 ball to tie this match at 3 apiece. And you're talking about Rob Hart, you know. Of course, he obviously loves to play. You know, obviously, you know, one of his favorite things to do is compete in pool. But he started playing these events with, you know, a determination in mind to improve at these events and become competitive. And I think he's crossing that bridge.
Definitely, I've seen a considerable improvement, not just in his actual level of play, but in his demeanour and in his comfort level as well out there.
I agree.
So this match was 1-1, it was 2-2, and now they're tied again in 3-3. The latest result for you, Thomas Kaplan from Poland. He's defeated Richard Halliday from South Africa 9-6. Not going too well for a Mosconi Cup possible candidate. I know that Jeremy will be tight-lipped, so I'm not going to even bother asking him about that. But Nicolas Deleon from the USA, he finds himself 6-5 down to Great Britain's Spencer Oliver. Alex Montpellier 5-4 up on Radislav Babica. Thomas Kirsch and Tobias Steinbach. That's 6-2 Kirsch. Sebastian Batkovsky, he's 7-3 up on Visar Spahiu from Albania. And now Yuri Pisklov, who played so well against Ralph Suke, he's 4-3 up against Mustafa Alner.
And he's going to get a little thin on the one, but it still may be something he wants to shoot at. We'll see. Matt Edwards with another great kick shot, with not much of a reward on the 3, but ooh, those two are tied up, the 4 and 9, and good luck to Marcel trying to get this rack off. Those two there, that's a difficult situation.
He lives in Berlin, does Marcel Eckhart, but of course this is still very much his home nation, and proud to be officiating here.
Yeah, he does a fine job and really has become one of the players' favorites inside the arena.
He's so dedicated to his profession. All of the snooker referees and indeed the pool guys at the top level are. But Marcel is so detail orientated. And one of the great things about him, when it's a rowdy crowd at snooker, which you can get, he controls them with a very stern hand and doesn't take any nonsense whatsoever. The players appreciate that as well, of course.
Well, these are delicate sporting events, and of course we want it to grow, and we want the fans to be a big part of it, but at times, you know, they need to be told to simmer down here and there. I kind of hope actually that pool events go more along the Moscone Cup style of things, to where we have more electricity at all moments. That would be an incredible thing to me.
Well, I think at the Moscone Cup, at the Horseshoe, on the last day of November and the first few days of December this year in Vegas, they can turn the grid off. There'll be enough electricity supplied there. Lake Mead might be running dry, but there's no issue with electricity for those 4 days.
Yeah, no power shortage for what would be and what is the biggest event in pool. All right, sizing up a 4-9 kiss shot. Rob with an unfortunate scratch there on a pretty good hit on the kick. I'm not sure what he's thinking about here. I guess probably just a safety. Gonna lay the 1. The thing is here, he doesn't want to catch too much the side of the pink 4 with the 1. Could accidentally pocket the 1 and end up being a problem. I mean, I don't think he may be trying to pocket the 1 off the right side of the 4 and then have a free shot at it with a safety in mind. Yeah, just like that. Little unlucky the pink 4 got covered up underneath the 8, but I think he still can get on the 4. It's just a matter of can he get shaped back on the 5.
There's a level of intensity about this match that I like. Lechner took on a quite ambitious shot, I thought, in the first rack. He was made to pay for it. But he learned his lesson. Now he's giving this all due care and attention.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's hard not to look at a match when you feel like you're a pretty big favorite. Of course, we all know it's 9-ball pool, and the pool gods can certainly take hold of that and make it anything they want to and turn matches around from rolls. But I always looked at it, if I felt like I was a big favorite, as getting into my groove, playing the percentages, playing, getting my tempo down as far as my walk around the table, how I'm thinking, try to think confident in a confident manner. And I really didn't play many loose shots because I was thinking of the future of the tournament, really. What are the loose shots going to do me here later on in the tournament?
Well, if you need motivation against an opponent who you believe yourself to be superior to, if you need motivation, just think how bad you would feel if you lose. And then, of course, you'll think, well, I don't want to feel like that. And that's all the motivation you need.
Yeah, and that bad feeling actually creeps in during the match when you give a few games away. That's when you start to think, well, this is possible to get beat in this scenario. And all right, a little off angle here, probably just stuns the ball, a little stun draw down below the 9 to the bottom rail, and then back up for the 8 in the upper left-hand corner. He may let the stroke out here trying to get back above the 8. I don't see the reason why. And there's not a great route to do so. It's hard to tell with Max sometimes how he's going to strike the ball, just because he did go ahead and try to come above it. It should work. A very clean match by both players so far.
Max Lechner back in front for the first time since he was 2-1 ahead. The scoreline now is 4-3 in favour of the Austrian. By the way, over on table 2, we could be coming to a conclusion. Piers Labutis, 8-6 up against Matt Edwards on the hill. 4 pots away from victory. So many matches going on around this massive arena on both the winners and the losers side. You might have seen this morning, if you were with us early on, Torsten Homan lost his opening match very surprisingly. Well, he has bounced back on the one-loss side. He beat Mohamed Daidat from South Africa 8-2.
And I just love it. I see rack after rack. I see a different layout, different shots after the break. As a fan, and I think it's going to really, we're going to reap the rewards of this change, I believe, overall. Now, he's got to attack here. A 3-5 combination, very playable. I think he can get into the back of the 6 maybe here to slow the cue ball down.
Let me quickly tell you, Piers Labutis is through. He did beat Matt Edwards 9-6.
Okay, the tip came up a little bit, but watch out for the scratch if he's going in there with a lot of speed. Ooh, he went right around it. Try doing that again, Max. And he's still going to be okay for a 3-5 combo. But I thought that was very dangerous coming underneath it at that speed. Could easily have scratched off the 6 if he had caught it. This looks reasonably thick hit on the 3 to play the 5. I wonder if he's going to get a double kiss on the 3 ball with the cue ball after pocketing the 5. It's close. The thing is, it's the type of combination you don't want to really hit easy. Again, you want clean contact on the 5. So about a medium speed, I would think.
Gave it much thought, but I always thought that was well within his capabilities.
Yeah, I didn't think the combo was much of what he was considering. He was considering what was going to be next, and most of those types of shots really depend on how you enter the pocket with the what would have been the 5 ball there, and he's going to get a little flat here near the cushion, so he's got to play a pretty touchy positional shot on the 7, whether it be the 7 for the lower right or a 7-9 combination in the lower left. Kind of like the combination myself. Only reason being is the 8's in a bad, tough spot also, so if you could get a shot on the 7 and not really have a chance to get position on the 8. Yeah, I think that was a smart play, and even better the way he hit it, right?
So after our discussion about a lack of combinations, they're coming up thick and fast now. This one, 7-9, to be more than halfway into the next round. (7-9), all is fine. Max Lechner, for the first time, opens up a 2-rack advantage. He leads Rob Hart 5-3. Some other matches in this round on the winner's side. Aloysia Shap from Singapore, 5-3 up on Valerie Koloyens. Raina La, Estonian World Cup player, he leads Chris Alexander 5-4. Yuri Pisklov, who's got an awful lot of support in here today. He beat Ralph Suke earlier. He's battling away now, and he's on level terms after a slower start against Mustafa Alner. 5-5. Mark Bosch 3-2 up on Nicholas Durr. Sebastian Batkovsky on the hill against Besar Spahiu from Albania. Batkovsky from Poland leading 8-3. It's 4-2 now for Bosch. And Spencer Oliver on the hill against Nick De Leon, 8-5.
Yeah, and I don't really know much about Spencer, but he must be playing a solid match because Nick played really well in his first round, and Max has kind of gotten dialed in on that 1 in the side. I don't know if he's come away with a shot here. 9 looks like it's in the way, getting at that blue 2. I think he looks like he likes it. Oh, he's going to roll out. I'm surprised at the rollout here, and I'm not sure what his next play would be because he kind of rolled out on the same line he's on. So if he liked the kick shot, I thought he may take it on without rolling out rather than giving Rob the option. You can't play the kick to the bottom rail. You have to pass this shot if you're coming to the bottom rail with the cue ball. I'm pretty sure that Max is going to kick to the side rail with a lot of top left English. And trying to bank the 2 to the bottom rail and back up, maybe using the 9. Get the 2 to the opposite side rail. Has to apply a little side spin. Just like that, he was trying to use the 9. Good effort. Rob's going to get a chance, though, and I think he has a look at this 2-ball cross corner. Watch out, cue ball.
That hurts.
Yeah, because you can see, and he knew it, that he had a two-way shot here. All that congestion there with the 6, 7, 5, and 9. As long as he doesn't lose the cue ball there, he was going to have a nice snooker and a good opportunity to win this 9th game. And now quite the opposite. The Austrian Max Lechner should extend his lead.
Looks to have found his rhythm, does Lechner. Helped, of course, enormously by the Hart scratch. Didn't quite get hold of the cue ball there, though. He was stretching over. I think he mistimed the shot. And consequently, from mid-range, this 9-ball could possibly go astray. Doubtful, but it's not a certainty. Right into the heart of the pocket. And so Max Lechner is now doubling up on Robert Hart. He leads by 6 racks to 3. A very big name in the world of pool. A very big name here in Germany. Ralf Suke battling away on the one-loss side of the draw. Over on table 16 at the moment. Suffered that early loss, didn't he, today? But he's bounced back nicely, it seems. He leads Rafał Stepnik from Poland 6-0. By the way, the first player to be eliminated from the tournament, it was a little earlier. Abdul Fattah Jama. He lost his first match and then basically didn't turn up in time for his second. And so it was bye-bye. That's a distinction you don't want, Jeremy, to be the first player out of a tournament.
Yeah, I watched, or actually I read a comment from a player that earlier 65th or second. What's the difference if you don't win? You know, it's different goals for different players, but hopefully Hopefully it wasn't intentional not making that second match. Just sometimes things happen.
And Mladinescu from Romania. Well, his first name is Elvis, and this time Elvis really has left the building. He's been beaten 8-3 by Carl Gladenberg from Estonia, so that's 0-2 for Mladinescu and elimination.
Yeah, and you heard Phil mention 8-3 there, or 8-2 you said maybe, but
8-3, yeah.
8-3, yeah. The one loss side will be a race to 8 until the qualification round, which will go back to 9.
The next match on the slate has started over on table 2. Tobias Hoyce playing arguably the biggest match of his life up against a fine player from GB, Imran Majid, who I thought played at times some wonderful pool at the World Cup of Pool in Brentwood in June. And he had a good win to start off today. He might be a dark horse, you know, Imran Majid.
Yeah, UK Open, he played some great pool, actually. Of course, his opponent he's playing now had some nice cue action, a miscue there, but Tobias, I don't know him, but man, the pool cue looks like a toothpick in his hand. Big guy, big arms, big forearms, and what a nice stroke it seems.
Just thinking about Robert Hart, you know, the gentleman we're watching on table 1 right now, and we were saying he's from Philadelphia. From Philadelphia was the great Willie Mosconi, who the much talked about cup is named after.
I'd have to look it up, but was Mosconi born in the Carolinas, though, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe he was born in the Philly area, but maybe I'm thinking of another old-time player, but yeah, Imran, who just won the GB9 this past weekend. Nothing easy to doing that, and just has been a solid player for a long time.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday walking around town. He seemed very relaxed, really happy, and there's no doubt he's hitting some form. Well, that works just fine. Look at the cue ball and the 1 sitting next to each other.
And I shouldn't have doubted you at all, Bill. Mosconi was born in Philly. All right, he's got to get the cue out of the way pretty quickly here. Coming down table. Not going to have much of a follow through here. Be a little aware of fouling the cue ball. Thought he could reach this righty, yeah.
Don't do anything you might regret. Getting the right leg up on the table there could be rather an unpleasant experience if things go incorrectly. So I think he's doing the right thing using the bridge.
Yeah, okay, he's going to come away with a shot. Okay, the 4 doesn't pass the 9. Possible combination there, but he'd like to cut this in and come up and get an angle on the 3 to come over and fall below the 4. Let's try and play a nice run out. Tough kick shot here. Not just to hit it, but the type of kick shot, that angle you could follow this ball in. The 9's a little precluding that, actually, but looking now to maybe get behind the 9. Wow. Gonna have to draw this a bit to arc the cue ball to try and get at the 2. He's got to aim a little past, a little longer than he wants because of the 7 and the 9, actually. And doesn't want to hit it really, really hard. Wants the draw to take to bend the cue ball towards the 2. Yeah, overhit it a bit. Didn't quite take as much as he wanted, and he's maybe gonna leave a 3-9 combo. Doesn't have to shoot the 3-9. Can just play a clean run out, but I wouldn't doubt he gets up top of the 3 and plays an early winner.
The little nudge on the 3 worked out well in the end. Not just leaving quite a simple pot, but also the angle to go to the other side of the table for the 4. And now this rack is looking promising.
And Rob, for the most part, has broke the balls very well. So if you can get out here, maybe put a break and run together. A lot of pressure on his opponent. Kind of stood up on that one a little quick and may get away with the miss, but not what he wanted.
Yes, in terms of an obstructing ball, the 5 comes to Hart's assistance.
We'll see what Max can do with this kick shot, but I mean, nice hit. I think Imran may have his hands full over here on table 2, just kind of watching Tobias without knowing him. Very fluid stroke, very confident stroke. Has already put a win together in this event. So I wouldn't doubt we see another close match there.
That was very heavy-handed, and now it's gift-wrapped.
Yeah, I think he just lost the cue ball there. I think he was just trying to really play the cue ball behind the purple 5 and let the 4 go where it may, but just a bit of a thin hit. Interested to see when Lechner gets on the 6 if he plays it a bit off the 9 to open the pocket on the 8 or just let them lay how they are. He wanted to get a little straighter probably, but that's okay. Now he certainly won't play anything off the 9 because he won't do it with a heavy speed, and he doesn't want to just barely tap the 9 and then the 8-9 tie up. All right, you got to have a clear decision here. Do I come out for the combination, or do I try to lay on the side rail for the carom shot? Ooh, wow.
I think that was a classic case, wasn't it, Jeremy, of concentrating so hard on the positional aspect of the shot and thinking about the future, he forgot about the present.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. He didn't either, and I'm sure his opponent didn't as well. I wouldn't try to move it too much unless it was fairly natural. 8-9 combination is not tough. Watch outside pocket. Oh my.
It's reminiscent of what we saw from Damien Massey earlier on, trying to do just a little too much unnecessarily.
Yeah, I mean, the kiss shot is obviously what you would want to shoot, but the combination's very easy. Surprised, actually, that Max isn't playing the kiss shot here. Ball in hand, you shouldn't have a problem, but...
Now, is that the beginning of the end? It could well have been 6-4. In actuality, it is 7-3. And that is a worrying deficit for Robert Hart. Max Lechner getting on top. The reward for the winner of this match is a place in the winners' qualification round against a tough opponent from Poland, Matthias Snigocki, who's had a couple of varying victories today. He started off with a 9-0 whitewash of Brian Nilsson, and then he was fully extended in his second match before beating Can Selim of Germany 9-8. So both sides of the spectrum, but in either, Snigocki was victorious.
I think he made the wing ball. I think he's going to have a shot on the 1. It's got an angle to come down for the 2, and the center of the table fairly clear. Nice kiss on the 1 right there from the 3. Don't think he really applies too much English here. Probably just one rail between the 7-9 with the cue ball. Super solid mechanics there, and now he'll make a decision. Is he too thin to pull the cue ball 2 rails between the 9-7? Does he go backside of the 7 between the 7-4 with the cue ball back up for the 3? Don't think he plays inside English here. It looks like he's going to try and pull it tightly between the 9-7 a couple rails. Yeah, bit fortunate if he does get a shot at the 3, and I think he did. I'm surprised he didn't recognize that was flirting with the 7 instead of going to the top side around it, but nevertheless should be okay.
Tell you is okay for now. Ralph Suke on the 1-loss side. He whitewashed Rafael Stepnik 8-0.
All right, a little touchy shot here, trying to come between the 8-4 for position on the 4 in the same corner as the 3. Oh, he's overcut it. And the timing in the stroke didn't look that as smooth as I'm used to seeing from Max. Nothing easy here for Max. This lay's pretty funny. Looks like he's going to try and take it on the side. Coming short side for the 4. And again, just the timing looked a little quick. Looks like he's playing the kick shot here. Solid hit. It's going to catch the 8 and leave a pretty routine shot for Max. Not sure it goes in the corner, but definitely plays in the right side. Nice shot pushing through the 7, getting the cue ball clear of that right side cushion.
He made a good start. Robert Hart held Max Lechner to 3-3. In fact, he led 3-2, did Hart. But over the last few racks, a couple of mistakes have crept in. And although Lechner's not been flawless by any means, he has been the stronger of the two.
Yeah, he's played solid. Just a couple little unforced errors and something he'll be mindful of moving forward in this event. But Rob has played pretty solid, just a couple of little mistakes there, here and there, and kind of getting punished for it. Still looks like he's in a good place with his game, though, that being Rob Hart. Like to see it, like seeing it.
Yes, he's definitely on the upward curve, isn't he, in terms of his abilities, and I think his confidence too. Confidence out there in front of the cameras.
Well, his game of choice, or it used to be, was one pocket, and he just realized he had to start playing a lot more rotation to improve not only his one pocket game, but his overall pool game, and I think he kind of has fallen in love with 9-ball while doing so.
Well, Max Lechner has got every right to fall in love with this scoreline. He leads Robert Hart 8-3. That means he's on the hill, and he needs only one more rack to progress. By the way, I can tell you our next offering here on Table 1 looks like it's going to be very interesting indeed. It features Christian Sordia from Romania up against Eagle Eye Jason Shaw. Our next match on Table 2 at the conclusion of Imran Majid and Tobias Hoyce. That's going to be Oscar Dominguez against Rainer Tisar from Estonia.
Well, the last break for Lechner here in this match, and pretty solid. He's made the one very consistently throughout the match, and really an opening 2-ball that these guys practice quite often. A little bit of a cut, low left English, drawing the cue ball to the side rail and back out towards the center. You can get this 2 down, it should really end the match. The 4 is there, the 5, 6 are near. 7 also near. Kind of the shot of the rack here, and again gets this one down. He should go ahead and clear the rest of the table. Well, again, sometimes it's just some of the timing has just been a little off, and this is what I mean. Where the scoreline's at 8-3, but really, if you looked at some of the mistakes by Rob, there hadn't been that many, but it seems like he's been punished otherwise, and some of the misses from Max have taken that role.
Yes, from Hart's perspective, that 2-ball ended up horribly.
Yeah, and just like right here, this 2 is going to end up on the side rail with enough space to go by the 6. So sometimes matches just aren't going your way, and he can definitely slide this in. Now, he may not want to, considering he'll have to make some shot on the 4 opposite the table. Now, this is the type of shot, if he is trying to squeeze it by the 6, he wants to get the cue ball off the rail to shoot the 4, even if it's just a little bit. Wow, he got nestled up on the 6. I'm not sure he has a shot on the 4 at all.
Anywhere but there. How annoying.
Oh, nice shot there by Tobias Hoyce. And, he doesn't look as clean cut, at the table as Imran, but I tell you, I see a lot of talent in that man. Really natural swing, and he's not afraid to shoot.
Yeah, it's 2-2 over on Table 2, Imran Majid and Tobias Hoyce. Here, we could be getting close to the finish, although there's life in this yet.
Yeah, he's having to kick at this ball. Snookered himself, and again, not much love, it doesn't appear, for for Rob after a mistake from Max. He does have a real first shot. We'll see what he elects to play.
Do you remember the big cheer, the big story early on when Yuri Pisklov defeated Ralph Suke? He's got lots of supporters here, and he performed very nicely in that match. Well, I'm afraid he lost his next match just a few moments ago. 9-8 to Mustafa Alna from Turkey. Differing fortunes.
Yeah, and it's just probably after a big win. Started off slow in that match. He trailed most of that match, and probably before catching form, and maybe just something coming down the finish didn't agree with him winning it, and on to the one-loss side. Nice shot. Nice shot. Still no bargain for Rob on this 5-ball. It's going to pull off the rail just a little bit.
Seemed to slightly decelerate on that shot, and when you do that, you always tend to overcut.
I'll tell you, Imran didn't have an easy shot, but definitely one he should make. And I fear for the more time he gives Tobias at the table, the more of a handful in this match he's going to have.
Yes, Majid has left the 4-ball over the pocket. As for here, though, this could be all over. Should be all over. Just 3 balls needed by Max Lechner to advance.
Yeah, probably one rail here, just straight down the middle of the table. He's perfect here for another one rail angle to finish this match off with shape on the 9. I wouldn't go the second rail here myself. I mean, that's a feel-good kind of shot. Get to swing the cue a little more, but I don't think that's the right shot. But everybody plays a little different. Yeah, I like the one rail right there.
And assuming the 9-ball goes in, you have to say this scoreline, Jeremy, not representative of the way the match has gone.
Yeah, I would agree, and we'll see more of both these guys here in the next few days.
Yeah, so Max Lechner comes through. The Austrian defeats Robert Hart by 9 racks to 3. Is into the winners' qualification to take on Matthias Snigotsky from Poland.